Hello everyone, Ron Frechette here, Chief Evangelist Officer at Gold Sky Cybersecurity, and today we're going to walk you through Gold Sky Security's proprietary DREAMSecure cyber risk management system that we developed exclusively for small and mid-sized businesses, also known as SMBs. Before we dive in, I think it's important to share a quick backstory about how DREAMSecure came to be. When we first launched Gold Sky Security back in April of 2016, our primary objective was to save the SMB world from the onslaught of attacks by cybercriminals. Having worked with large multinational companies in securing their sensitive information for many years, we saw firsthand how cyber criminals were working their way down the supply chain and began targeting smaller businesses as the larger companies were maturing their cybersecurity postures and making it more difficult to infiltrate their networks. Targeting smaller businesses was like shooting fish in a barrel to those in the cyber criminal world. The fact is, 60% of small businesses that experience ransomware or any type of data exfiltration breach are filing bankruptcy within 6 to 12 months. As you can imagine, this has a devastating effect on any business owner, not to mention their employees, their loved ones, and everyone else affiliated with that business. This attack on the SMB world created a tremendous amount of urgency for us here at Gold Sky. We knew we needed to act fast to help these businesses from being compromised. What we quickly realized as we began to engage with SMBs was that the majority of business owners lacked basic cyber hygiene knowledge and were resistant to take action because they perceived cybersecurity as complicated, time-consuming, and extremely expensive to put in place. So what did we do? We hit the whiteboard to figure out how to boil all this cybersecurity stuff down and make it easy to understand and easy to implement. After a few painstaking weeks at the whiteboard and receiving invaluable input from our existing clients, DREAMSecure was conceived, and it all boils down to 5 basic maturity phases: diagnose, remediate, engage, audit, and monitor 24/7, 365. Phase 1 of Gold Sky's DREAMSecure cyber risk management system starts with a diagnosis of your current infrastructure, or what we refer to in the cybersecurity industry as your digital footprint. Think of this diagnosis as an annual physical or wellness checkup we would have with our primary care physician. Before our doctor can tell us the state of our health, they must first ask us a series of questions about our overall health, like, how is your diet? How often do you exercise? Is there any pain you're having that we should know about, etc. Then they run a series of tests, like checking our blood pressure or listening to our heartbeat for any abnormalities. They may also run some blood work in order to assess any underlying issues we may not see on the surface. Once the test results are in, the doctor now has a clear picture of the current state of our health and is able to prescribe the proper medication or behavioral changes we need to make in order to maintain or optimize our health. The process works exactly the same in the cybersecurity industry, except we refer to a wellness checkup as a security risk assessment. This is where we perform a series of tests to identify any issues or gaps or vulnerabilities related to the 4 threat vectors that surround every digital footprint, which are people, processes, facilities, and technologies. Now that we've performed the risk assessment and identified gaps, it's time to move into phase 2, which is to remediate. This requires the development of a remediation plan with a roadmap that contains a very specific, easy to understand plan to close gaps. Once the remediation plan and roadmap are developed, we move into phase 3, which is to engage. This is where we put the remediation plan into action and engage managed security service providers to assist us in closing those gaps. For instance, a common gap we see with SMBs is the need for annual security awareness training for employees. That would require you to engage with a company like KnowBe4 that can provide the proper services required to close that gap. Once the remediation plan has had time to take effect, we move into phase 4, which is the audit phase. This is where we're going to ensure the remediation plan was effective by testing the gaps we identified and determining the risks that still exist. We call this residual risk. Once we determine the residual risk, we have to decide what to do with it, which will vary based on your company's risk appetite or risk tolerance level. Do we want to continue to mitigate the risks? Do we want to transfer the risk by using cyber insurance? Or do we want to accept the risk? And then there's phase 5, which is monitoring. We say you're golden when you reach phase 5. This means your cybersecurity program is maturing and your business is at a point where you are monitoring your endpoints 24/7, 365. Keep in mind that this phase does not happen overnight. It usually takes 18 to 24 months. In closing, building and managing a cyber risk management system is a journey. It is not a destination. Unfortunately, the threat landscape is always changing. We tell everyone we share the DREAMSecure model with that they should wash, rinse, and repeat this process on an annual basis, or if you have a major infrastructure change. For more information about how GoldSky's DREAMSecure maturity model can benefit your business, call us today to schedule a free consultation.